So I decided to finish off season 1 this week anyway, so it's just out of the way. Also, I have decided to add another series into my blind watch list. This one is called Cheer Boys. I own it, and I'd never watched it. It's just been sitting on my shelf. And I figured, why not add that one into the list as well? Because, I mean, I'm going to watch it anyways. If this sounds interesting to you, please support it, watch it, comment, so I know you're actually interested. Comments help me continue these series. Honestly, I probably would have dropped this series if it wasn't for the comments I keep getting. So yeah, just letting you know. So at the start, Shanoa is demanding answers from Gurren, but Gurren's like, I'm not telling anything, forget what you saw. And honestly, as shisty as he is, he really doesn't owe anybody an explanation except for maybe you. You is the one he owes an explanation to, but he's not going to get that, and he's not going to give it. I guess it's his right. I don't even care. Shanoa isn't happy with this answer, though, and she feels like she's entitled to her answers, so she goes and investigates. And she does find out there is a building with human experimentation, more specifically, I guess, vampire experimentation, but she's like, nah, I feel like there's human experimentation. And she does actually eventually find Gurren in that building, and, you know, Gurren admits it. Yeah, there's human experimentation. The medicine that they're giving, those steroids, a special dose was given to you, and that is probably what caused him to do that. And Gurren's like, you can't afford to have, you know, an opinion on this, because if your sister hadn't sacrificed so many humans, you know, these special weapons wouldn't be a thing. So we find out more about her sister in that aspect. She then visits Yu, who is in a coma and has been for almost a week, and confesses to him that, you know, he may have made her fall for him a little bit. She has caught the feelings, which, I mean, I swear to God, I saw that coming. It seems like this is going to be another one of those, and I called it. Basically, it's a harem anime. It's a hidden harem anime. There are at least 2 girls that have a crush on him, and Mika clearly has a crush on him. There's 3 people, probably more. I still feel like you too has a bit of a crush on him as well. I swear to God. He is one of those protagonists where everybody just wants to have sex with him. The question is who will he end up with at the end of the series? Because I will riot if it is Shanoa. I will riot so hard. In a flashback, we see that Mika does try to go back and retrieve Yu after his, you know, passing out. And Ferret stops him. He's like, nah, man, you're going to retreat with us, and we're going to do things my way for now. Don't be stupid. They're not going to let you take him. So, you know. He wakes up in this chamber that kind of reminds me of Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs chamber, you know, where Snow White's sleeping in that glass coffin. That's basically what it makes me think of. That, or that one glass chamber that Luke Skywalker is in after being, you know, attacked by those abominable snowmen monster things. So Renee and that one vampire I cannot remember how to pronounce. Is it Latios? Wait, that's a Pokemon. Anyways, the one with the purple hair. They're asking Mika about, you know, his past and what's going on. Like, who are you? Who were you? And Mika turns and looks at him, and he's like, hey, I'm just like you guys. I'm just another ugly vampire. And the other 2 are like, huh? And then that was pretty much the end of the scene. What's his name? I'm too lazy to look it up. I'm too lazy. Yu finally wakes up after a 7-day coma with pretty much no memory of what happened after reuniting with Mika. And Yu too is there watching, you know, being a adorable, loyal friend that he is. And after he sees that he's awake, he goes and rushes off to go tell the others. After he thinks he's alone, he starts to cry in relief at the aspect that his family, his Mika, is alive. You know, it doesn't matter per se that he might be a vampire. He's alive, and he's just so freaking relieved. Yeah, so he wasn't alone, though. You know, Shanoa was there, just peeking like a creeper. And she calls him a crybaby. Is this one of those cases where you have a crush on someone, but you don't know how to, like, verbalize and like fully realize your crush. So you just be a jerk to the person you're crushing on. Because I don't care if that's what that is, but that's the wrong way to go about it. And that is a show that this person is toxic and needs some serious therapy before they can be in a serious relationship. I'm just saying, I never really supported the whole, I love you, so I'm going to be mean to you type of trope. I don't care what the gender is. I don't like it. We see in a flashback that Shiho actually carried him back, army style. And we also see that Shinoa realizes, that Mika probably has a bigger place in Yu's heart in that moment anyways. So, I guess it's good to know that you have competition. We see a very obvious shipping moment, which could indicate where, this could be going, where she has a blushing moment with him reaching out, almost touching her face before she realizes, no, he notices the bandage on her neck and he's very concerned about this. But it's broken by Mitsuba walking in. I also noted that when he noticed that Mitsuba also had a bite mark, he was just as concerned, if not, I would say more concerned about Mitsuba based on the expression and the emotion and the tone of his voice and everything, which of course pretty much makes Mitsuba blush as well. And it's like, author, you're toying with everybody. You're giving him like different variations of reaction, of concern, but they all seem like they could be shipping moments. And I'm just like, I see what type of person you are, creator of Seraph of the End. I see it, and I don't know if I like it. I mean, we even have an almost shippy moment with Shiho. Shiho, who almost is the most heterosexual guy in the show, where we find out he's been secretly watching you as he's been sleeping for the past 7 days, and he didn't want anybody else to know. He specifically didn't want you to know. Like... It's a horror anime. Also, I see you, Shinoa. I saw that you lied to you about what really happened. I don't think that was a wise decision. I think he deserves to know what happened to his body and his mind. Like, he's gonna find out eventually anyways. Why hide it? Gosh, you're just as shiesty as Gurren. We get to see some very idyllic scenes of the humans and the vampires, both living like everyday lives and having moments of just peace, which almost seems to show that they're not so different after all in a way, which is what I've kind of been saying since day one, that the vampires aren't actually evil per se, but the humans aren't exactly, good per se either. They're just trying to live their lives and they're just trying to make it work in this post-apocalyptic world. And it just sucks because I feel like if these two groups were to work together, they could probably take down this apocalypse single-handedly. Like, there would be no problems. I mean, look at these two girls playing chess. Look at those two beautiful girls. Do they deserve to die? I do not think so. I don't. I think that they deserve to live. Let them play chess. Then we see Yu and Mika both in separate places and having internal monologues about how, they're going to save each other. They're going to save each other. And I'm just kind of confused because, sure, I do believe that the vampire side would totally be willing to just let you live and let him do what he wants as long as he doesn't, cause any problems for the vampires. I think they would. But do you really think that the humans would allow Mika to live among them as a half vampire? No, I don't think they would. I think they would perform human experimentation on him. I think they would use him for research and he would be in a lot of pain. I think you're delusional, to think that you could save him and bring him to your side as he is now. I don't think it's reasonable. But on a side note, do you not think that this scene kind of almost reminds you of Fievel? You remember that little mouse in the very first one where they go to America and the sister and the brother are both having this weird duet and they were in different places, but yet they were both on the screen almost looking at each other? I don't know. Another thing that makes me think of this is a symbolism, kind of like how they are each other's reflection or each other's other half, is what I think, what they were trying to show here is that they both had a common goal to help the other person, and without the other person, they're not technically whole. whether you take that to be as a canon relationship of love or just pure platonic soulmate love, it is what it is. These two are clearly soulmates in some aspect, in my opinion. Season 1 ends with Farid talking to an unseen person and handing over documents and data on the vampires. And he's clearly talking to a human, in my opinion. And there's some speculation who he's talking to, but after some thought, I think I know who he's teaming up with and who he's working with. And I know this is going to sound far-fetched, but I think it's this guy. I think it's Gurren. I don't think Gurren is fully on the human side, but I don't think he's on the vampire side either. I think he's got his own agenda, just like Farid does. And I kind of guessed that Farid would probably be working on both sides, because like I said, I always believed he was on his own side. But I think Gurren also has some kind of stake in both sides, and I think he's the type who would be willing to be a double agent to get what he thinks needs to be done. I mean, he clearly has no problem with experimenting on children, for instance. I'm just saying. And that's it. Now, I will take note that I'm not sure yet how the following week will be. I'm not sure if I'm going to take a full-on, week or two break from Seraph of the End and focus specifically on Cheer Boys, or if I'm going to alternate an episode of Seraph of the End and an episode of Cheer Boys every week and, have, one of each, or whatever. It may even change based on my mood. So we'll see. And yes, that is a picture of me. I did buy Vampire Fangs because of this anime that I've got into. That is a terrible job. Unfortunately, with how my teeth are, the one fang sits crooked. But I think I look cute. It's basically me as Mika. But with my glasses, because I am blind.